Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sampson and Jim Jonas with another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today we have Ronald Bilodeau, Nevada State Senate District 18 candidate. But before we get to Mr. Bilodeau, Jim, you have any rants?
No, not really any rants. Just glad to be back.
I feel like we're in stereo. You hear that?
Yeah.
Check.
I'm hearing some echo too. And I know enough to know that my voice doesn't sound good, so I really don't like to hear the reverb, but that's what it is. And I've heard that from several people, so anyway.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
You sound fine, Mr. Bilodeau.
But just back in Las Vegas. I'm happy to be back for the people that I care about in Las Vegas. Actually, Las Vegas itself don't really care for, but it is what it is.
So how was Wyoming?
It was good,
Yeah.
as always. I enjoy Wyoming. It's a great state, great people. Enjoy it a lot.
Well, I just I want to talk about a little bit of, before we get to Mr. Bilodeau, I have my rant. My rant is Van Miller. That's my rant.
Okay. All right.
And I just wanted to tell folks out there, Van Miller is not the third assassination attempt on Donald Trump. He's not any assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Matter of fact, I went to Van Miller's house 2 days ago, and guess what was in front of his house? A Trump and Vance sign. Believe that? Oh yeah, he really doesn't like Trump. And Riverside County Sheriff, you jumped the gun, and now you're gonna pay because Van Miller filed a lawsuit today. So good luck with that. You know, I understand that we need to protect people, but we can't break the law to do it, and you can't jump the gun to do it. You jumped the gun, so now you're gonna pay. And I heard you're gonna run for sheriff. And not sheriff. I heard you want to run for California governor. I hope you don't run for that because you're a lying fool. You're talking about my friend like that, like he's some assassin. You had no evidence to prove it. That's bullshit. So anyways, Mr. Bilodeau, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, Steve. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Tell us about yourself.
A little bit about me. So, my name's Ron Bilodeau.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
You were close.
Bilodeau.
Drill instructor used to say Bilodeau.
Bilodeau.
Bilodeau. Yes.
Bilodeau.
Bilodeau for you. That's
Bilodeau for you.
Bilodeau for you is
So
my
if I have a
slogan.
bill and it's due, I give it to you. Right?
Yeah, well, not bill is due. Come on, we speak proper English
But
here.
not the bill overdue.
Not bill due. Bill is due.
The bill is due.
Bill, no, that would be if you had a bill, it was due.
Due.
You would say bill is due, right?
Okay.
But it's Bilodeau.
But not a bill for you.
Bilodeau for you.
Bilodeau.
Bilodeau for you.
But the bill is not overdue.
My bills are never overdue.
So it's Bilodeau. Okay, I think we kicked that horse right out
We
the
did,
window.
yeah, that was fun. It's good to be here. And
Semper Fi, TJ.
Semper Fi. And did you move out of Las Vegas?
No, I still live in Las
Okay,
Vegas.
you're just visiting Wyoming?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Welcome back. I couldn't believe you said you didn't like Las Vegas, but
Did he say that for real?
I think you did, right?
I don't like Las Vegas.
What do you mean you don't like Las Vegas? Want me to call Shelley Berkeley?
Well, maybe Shelley Berkeley can change my mind because I have a lot of respect for Shelley Berkeley.
This is the place to be. In my life, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of opportunities in Las Vegas.
So about me, Steve, I grew up in Massachusetts, in Boston, near Boston, joined the Marine Corps at high school.
You went to Paris Island?
No, I was a Hollywood Marine. I went to MCRD.
Well, you're an East Coast Marine. How the hell
in
West Coast?
1978, they were trying to get people in the Corps, and they gave me a choice of duty station. My mom had moved out to California.
That's not duty station. That's just boot camp.
Well, boot camp. They gave me a choice.
They gave you a choice of boot camp?
And they also told me I could go in the air wing if I wanted to. Right?
They gave you a choice of boot camp?
Boot camp and my MOS. Not quite the MOS, but the choice of...
the MOS is probably off of your ASVAB, but they gave you a choice of boot camp?
They did, yeah. Told me I'd go to MCRD.
Get out of town.
Serious?
I never had a choice of boot camp.
Yeah, well, it was the old Corps.
What year was this?
78.
Oh.
Yeah, 78.
So I was 85.
Okay. So
I wasn't too far behind you.
He
No.
probably scored higher on his ASVAB than you did.
No, probably. That's probably why you got a choice of boot camp. I've never heard of that before. I figured if you were
Told
on
me I could go to
this side of the country, you go to Paris Island.
So
the East Coast and the West Coast, you go to
Staff Sergeant
San
Adelaide
Diego.
brought me in
San
his
Diego.
office. I was actually there to meet the naval recruiter. My uncle told me, "Hey, look, we gotta get you doing something, Ron. You're out of high school."
So your uncle raised you.
No, but my uncle was one of my mentors. So one day he picks me up, drives me around in his Dodge Challenger, and
What year?
1977.
Okay.
I was a senior in high school.
He's probably had a lot of horsepower, huh? How much
Yeah,
horsepower?
that was one of the good ones. Yeah.
Was it 850?
I wasn't a motorhead back then.
Oh, okay. You didn't
Still not. I
Okay.
mean, but
wasn't a
I do. But anyway, so he drove me around, and he had a friend in the front seat, got a naval recruiter. He says, "Ron, this is so and
He had a recruiter in the car?
yeah, yeah." So I made an appointment to go out and see him, and like a future Marine, I was on time. Like I was early, right?
All right.
And so I showed up. I sat there on the couch, kind of like this, and
This is new.
this is
This is
framing.
new coach. This is a different type of couch.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It's comfy,
This
isn't
one was navy blue, I think.
it? Okay.
But anyway, so I was sitting in there, and the naval recruiter didn't show up. 15 minutes goes on. Staff Sergeant Natalie walks in, does a right face right in front of me, says, "What are you doing here, son?" I said, I'm here to join the Navy. He said some kind of, defaming remark about the Navy. He says, "Come on back here and join my man's Marine Corps." He took me out back. Got him
You were going to go to Navy?
Yeah. My uncle's a Navy guy. Took me out back, gave me a test, 10-question test. I got 9 out of 10. He says, "Man, you're a smart guy." He said, "You can have your choice of duty station, your choice of career, and where do you want to go to boot camp?"
You didn't take the ASVAB?
I did, yeah. I scored
10
high
questions?
on the No, I didn't take the ASVAB before I went to the recruiting station. I took the GCT test. I scored pretty high on that.
10 questions? Well, what test was
10
that?
questions was like, your name, your address. There's 2 of them, It's like,
Oh, my God.
so
Name,
8 questions. He says, "Man,
What's your phone number?
you're highly qualified." So anyways, I ended up in the United
What's
States
your
Marine Corps.
size?
Showed up San Diego, September 25th, 1978. Middle of the night, you know the drill. Run you on the yellow footprints, and 12
Lots
weeks
of
later.
yelling.
12 weeks later, looking good, feeling strong. Joined the Fleet Marine Force after that.
How long was your boot camp?
12 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said 4 weeks later. I was confused. What happened 4 weeks later? Did you say 4 weeks later?
No, I said 12
Okay.
weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
3 months.
12 weeks later.
12 weeks later.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I joined the Corps. Served my 4 years. I loved it. I loved the Corps.
Okay.
I was an
What'd you get out?
aviation electronics technician.
How long were you in? 4 years?
4 years.
What did you get out if you loved it?
What was that?
What did you get out if you loved it? You said you loved it.
So, 1982, not much going on. I was aviation electronics technician.
Okay.
Worked on F-4 Phantoms. I don't know if you know about that jet, but
So you're a
2.4
winger.
Mach. Well, I was for a little while, but then I was a wrestler in high school.
Oh.
So I was pretty good at it, and I ended up going into the West Coast Wrestling Tournament.
Like Hulk Hogan?
No, like Dan Gable style, right? Like Dan Gable.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, The Rock, right?
The Rock.
Yeah. He's pretty good. If I had to be any of those guys, I'd be him, right? So anyways, I ended up on the All Marine Wrestling team. I won a tournament in San Diego, the West Coast tournament. Actually, I took second. I had to forfeit. I was pinning this.
What's your weight class?
130. I was 121 in high school, 136 and a half in the Marine Corps wrestling freestyle. Okay. Ended up in the wrestling team for about a year. Guy in my weight class was on the Olympic team. Yeah, he was pretty damn good. And his name was Dan Mello. He wrestled in Oregon.
Okay.
Anyways, but after serving there for a year, really came back to the squadron. Got all the other stuff. Got mess duty, sergeant of the guard, that type of thing.
Right.
Staff SDO, and
Gotcha.
I figured it's time to get out and do something different, and became a cable TV installer.
You went from Marine to a cable TV installer?
yeah,
Was
but
the Cox guy? Was it Cox back then? What was it?
No, it was
Prime Cable?
Warner Amex. Warner Amex down, and so it was Warner Brothers and American Express.
Okay.
That was back in the heydays of cable TV in 1970, 1982. They're just building cable systems across the country. Worked my way up from installer to lineman, just like being in the Corps, like being on a fire team.
Right.
We're out there stringing cable, from sun up till sundown. It was a great life. I loved it.
Okay.
Traveled across the country doing that. Ended up settling back in California. Met my wife. We got Torrance, California, out in
Not
South
Riverside
Bay area.
County, right?
No, closer to the beach. Oh yeah. With that sheriff. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be out there right now, especially you on the case, right? But got married, and my wife and I we started a family in California.
How old were you when you were married?
28.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
28.
That's a pretty good age.
Yeah, it was a good age. My wife was a little younger.
That's how old I was when I first moved to Vegas.
Okay. I moved here when I was about 10 years later. So I think I was 36 when I moved here. And we moved here in 96.
We were youngins when we came out here.
Yeah, it was a good place to be. In 96, I was able to...
Jim was a toddler.
I was in '96. I was 19 actually.
Okay. All right.
How old were you when you moved out here, Jim?
10.
See?
1986.
86. Okay. Yeah, 96 I was... 86 I was still... I just got back to California in 86. I did 10 years there. Building cable systems just locally in California. It was great. California sunshine and
You
everything.
got any tattoos on you?
What's that? No,
Yeah.
no tats.
No tats?
No tats, no.
I don't trust this guy already, Jim. He don't got no tattoos on him. What kind of Marine don't have a tattoo? I'm gonna take it to the Leatherneck Club and make fun of you.
I'm just a clean guy, right?
He's a clean guy.
Yeah, no dirt on me, Steve.
No dirt on you.
Right.
But we'll find, we could find something.
Yeah.
I bet you we can find something.
Yeah, you'd have to look really hard, turn over a lot of rocks. But I was a Marine, right? I was a Marine.
That's right.
I'm still a Marine, right?
That's
I live my life
Once
that
always.
way. Live my life that way, right? Disciplined life, right? That's what
Absolutely.
you do.
Absolutely.
Semper Fi, do or die. That's how it was and how it still is, right? Anyway, so got married, moved here in 96. My wife and I wanted to buy a house. We had a pretty good opportunity to do it.
GI Bill?
GI Bill, dollar down. My wife still talks about
Dollar
that, right?
down.
Yeah. See, my wife's
Is your house paid off, by the way? Are you still in the same house?
No, we bought 2 houses. In 2009, I think we bought a house across the street. Moved my mom into
you
that
own both
house.
of them?
Yeah, I own both those houses.
Big ball of hair, Jim.
No, I don't. So that's I bought that house for my mom. My mom and my stepdad live there, and they're comfortable. They've been there for 11 years now, and it's all about family and community, right?
Absolutely.
And so then I got lucky. I got a job at the power company here. 20 years at the power company.
NV Energy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in operations management.
What was it before? Nevada Power?
Nevada Power. When I went in, it was Nevada Power. They just merged with Sierra Pacific Resources and became Sierra Pacific Resources.
Who owns NV Energy now? That's some rich guy.
Warren Buffett's company.
Buffett.
Yeah, Berkshire Hathaway Energy. They own quite a few utilities.
Warren Buffett's getting into the energy utility business, and you got Elon Musk getting into the social media business. Everybody's diversifying.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, and I hope it's true, Warren Buffett is one of those billionaires that signed the Giving Pledge, right? So, the Giving Pledge. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, a couple of those billionaires, they made a lot of money off of the community, and they're giving it all back, and that's the idea.
The Giving Pledge.
The Giving Pledge, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're giving it all back.
Well, supposedly, these guys are going to, by the time they pass away, they're going to give all their money back and die broke, which is BS. But that's the pledge they made.
We'll see what happens.
They're liars, but
I mean, I think
so are a lot of people. So
people say that about big corporations, right? But corporations own their existence to the communities that they serve, right? So they have an interest in taking care of those communities, and I think Warren Buffett seems to me like a committed man and a man of his word. I think he's going to do what he said. Of course, I teach business class over at College of Southern Nevada. I teach Business 101, teach management.
So you're a professor over there?
I am. I'm an adjunct professor. Yeah, I do a lot right now. I work full time in business development for a company that inspects utility poles.
Okay.
I've been doing that since I retired from the power company.
We had one inspected the other day, didn't we?
Did it fall down?
No, we had it moved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a lot. The power company was good to me. I ended up there for 20 years. They paid for all my education. I went to school at night.
Okay.
Got my associate's degree out of CSN, my bachelor's degree from UNLV. I got an MBA. They paid for my project management professional certification, graduate certificate in renewable energy. So they paid for all that. So they treated me well. They treat their employees well. And then I left, and I've had a good run, Steve. 25 years as a high school football official. I just kind of retired from field work last year. Just got my 25-year service award, and I spent most of my time in this community working with the community's youth. Youth development's a big thing of mine. That's why I did that. I coached, and I'm a professor at night just because I believe that that's important, right? If we don't take care of the next generation, and teach them the right thing, we're in trouble, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, are you done with your bio?
Oh, I could go on.
Oh, so your bio is done.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, how many kids you got?
3 kids. Yeah, I got. Oh, yeah. Let me talk a little bit about my family. I have 3 kids, two girls and a boy. My son is 24. My 2 daughters are 36 and 26. They were born on the same day, 10 years apart.
Shouldn't I gonna get mad? You giving up their age on TV?
Was that? No.
You got grandkids?
They all look good. No grandkids. No.
Oh, no grandkids from those 3?
No. They're
What's the oldest one?
36.
What's the youngest one?
24.
No grandkids.
No. For some reason, we don't have any
Times
grandkids
are
yet.
hard. They want to hold on to their money.
Listen, I got, they're going to school. They're doing the right
Good
thing.
for them.
Yeah,
Good for them.
doing the right
All
thing.
3 of them went to going to school?
My oldest one didn't. She has a career down, she works in the casino industry.
Okay.
My son going to UNLV, working, he worked for a 501c for quite a while. And then my middle daughter, she went to a school in California. Ended up hiking the Pacific Crest Trail 2 years ago.
Okay.
And she works as a para-educator right now. So,
Okay. What does the wife do?
What's that?
What does the wife do?
My wife is a registered dietitian.
Oh.
And like myself, she went to school.
Is that why you look all trim and slim there?
Well, I work out. It could help out, right? But
You ever seen
I
a fat Marine?
Yeah.
I've seen 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, not too many. But, I'm always disappointed when I do, right?
I'm disappointed when I do.
But, I hit the gym, and I do eat well. My wife makes sure I do eat well. But, I travel a lot, so I sneak a few things once in a while.
So you're running for Senate District 18?
Senate District 18, yeah.
And where's that located?
It spans from kind of like up near Floyd Lamb on the north, Lone Mountain on the south.
That was a Floyd. That was a Tully Springs.
Okay, I love Tully Springs. I walk up there some mornings. Got a nice little 4 mile trek I take up there. And on the east is Simmons Road in North Las Vegas. They redistricted a few years ago. And on the west is the 215. So it's a pretty expansive district. Got 130,000 plus voters there.
Okay. I'm one of those voters. I live in Centennial Hills.
Yeah, 4 years ago you let me put a sign in your yard, but I don't have one up there now.
I am. We're having a block party on the 25th.
Really?
Yeah. So
I'd
did you
love
get an
to go
invite?
by.
Because it's going to be right in Senate District 18.
That's an invite?
Yeah.
I'm there.
You should have seen it on Facebook. You should have got one on Facebook. You didn't get one on Facebook?
No.
Who does your social media?
Huh. Mind if I write that down? Oh, you send me something, right?
Yeah, I'll send you
All
something.
right, write it down.
Jim's got some questions for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so, one of the things that I don't like is when people interview people and they don't admit their bias. So I'm going to admit my bias. Number one, based on everything you just said, okay, so you served in the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your service, by the way. You seem to be a great guy, hard worker, earned everything you got out of life. So explain to me why you're a registered Democrat, because here's my bias. I think Democrats are they want to go to the mailbox to receive their paycheck than actually working for it. tell me where I'm wrong.
Well, the reason I'm running, one of the reasons I'm running, is to change that bias, right? I'm more of a purple guy, right? I'm a
He's
really,
a Barney. He's
really
a Barney.
a
Barney
very-
the purple.
Yeah.
I'm really,
The purple dinosaur.
yeah, I know Barney is. I just went shopping for a toy, Steve.
You at Toys R Us? Oh, they were bought.
Toys R Us,
They don't
yeah.
exist anymore.
Oh, I used to spend many Christmases there, right?
Well, that's why I had to grow up.
Okay.
Because I was a Toys R Us kid when they closed, then I was forced to grow up.
Forced to grow. He's forced to grow up.
You guys are-
Now he's at Walmart.
You got it funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I grew up in Massachusetts, right? My grandfather was a Democrat. My father was a Democrat. The Kennedys were Democrats, right? That's where I grew up. Democrats were heroes where I grew up. I've always been a member of the Democratic Party. Doesn't mean that I believe in everything that the Democratic Party does or everything that the Republican Party does. My goal is to, and I believe that we're way too far separated. There's too many people too far left, too many people too far right. I'm a very conservative Democrat, and you're not the first person who questioned that. Like half the interviews I've been in, people say, "You sure you're a Democrat?" I truly believe that Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. It's the person that you're voting for. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case in a lot of today's elections, right? I'm a Democrat because it's traditionally that's what my family's done. I believe that people should do the same if they are capable. Do the same thing that I did. Work as hard as you can. If you want an education, go to school, get an education, and take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of the community members around you. And so that's kind of there's the social construct of taking care of people around you. It is something that resides in the Democratic Party, right? But I don't believe that people should. I believe you should give people a hand up and not a handout, right? And so I don't know. My goal is to kind of change the party, if I can. I'd like to really be that guy who can bring the left and right together and run left and right and go straight, right? Go right down the center. Right. Be able to. I spent a lot of time negotiating contracts at the power company, right? Oh. And I believe that almost all of life's a negotiation, right? That we need to really be able to reach a collaborative consensus based on compromise. And that's what the founding fathers wanted us to do, right? And that's why they set up the system that they set up. It just got too divided. And I hope you don't hold the Democratic thing against me because I am just a regular guy who wants to make a difference in the community and serve the community.
Right, and that's the perception that I received with your bio. Mm. And so I always want to ask that question because I would ask the same question of a Republican. Like, why are you just that? And we become that divided. I'm a Republican, mm-hmm. So automatically I'm supposed to see you as an enemy,
right?
Because you're a Democrat,
and that's wrong.
It is wrong.
Yeah, I'm just on a different team, right? A different team, and it doesn't mean that we can't get together for Team USA, right? It's like we got.
But we all basically want the same things, right? We want low interest rates. We want low medical insurance, right? We want to be able to feed our families. We want to be able to pay the mortgage, right? We want to be able to put gas in the car, right? In fact, we want low gas prices, right?
Yeah, I want to be.
So basically, we want. I think if we concentrate on the things that we have in common, mm-hmm. and I think that we could go far.
I think we've come pretty far, right? We've come pretty far. There seems to be little stagnation.
Clean
right
neighborhoods.
Now. Clean neighborhoods.
Good roads.
How about good roads with no barricades that are left out there for 10 days after the construction project is over? That's one of my key issues.
Cones up when you leave.
There you go. I was in construction, most of my life, right? The first 15 years of lineman, we had to pull our cones in at the end of the night. Every night when we were done working, we pull those cones in, put out traffic plates.
Not here.
No, they leave them out here for days, and that's something that seems like a small issue, but in my district, it's a huge issue, right?
And creates congestion on the roads.
Yeah. We have all our macro issues, right? We have the economy, right? We have the economy, right? That's what we have. We have the economy, and that's a macro issue. Water sustainability is another macro issue, right? As a Las Vegas Valley Water District ratepayer, well, why is it that I have to conserve all the time, right? I have to conserve and under threats of fine, right? Why can't we start proactively developing some more upstream water projects, working with Arizona, working with the federal government to move water where, it's plentiful to where it's scarce, right? I mean, we can move oil all the way across the country. I know you get a little more per gallon for oil, but why can't we do those things? Big projects like that. 10 years we sent a man, sent people to the moon.
So then, and I'm glad you brought all that stuff up, but now Steve and I have been doing this a long time, and we're like political junkies, we're all into this stuff. But the average voter, and by the way, start educating yourself on these issues. But what I would like is, can you explain to the viewers and listeners, when we say you're running for Nevada State Senate District 18, what are the core roles of a Nevada State Senator?
Yeah.
How can you actually impact these voters' lives?
Yeah.
What are your core roles?
Yeah, so my core roles are to be familiar with the challenges of the community, to be able to review and research the policies and legislation that comes out, and be able to act in a deliberative and collaborative manner on creating the best policy for the community. Not policy that solely I believe in, or a policy that is favorable to my interests, but policy that's best for the community. I think that's the core role, right? What's it? Ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, right?
Those are all
very, very good things.
Yeah, they're very good things, but you didn't answer my question, though. Yeah. So, literally, so I'll give you an example. So you're my Nevada State Senator. Mm-hmm. I'm living in Nevada Senate District 18, right. And I got a pothole on the corner. Does that fall within your purview, or whose purview does it fall under?
It only falls into the purview of a state senator when you have 50 potholes on every corner, right? If it's a pothole in the corner, you need to contact Public Works. You need to talk to the Regional Transportation Commission, or NDOT or whoever.
So say I call your office, mm-hmm. and I ask you that question, and you give me that answer, which is legit. Can you give me numbers and contact points that I can contact the proper person?
When I'm elected, I will have that on my website. I'll have all the contact information on my website. That's important to be that central spot where people can go to, and I'm not hand you off to someone, but point you in the right direction. And if you can't find it, help you get there, right?
Perfect.
So kind of more macro issues than the single pothole, right?
Right.
Like I said, when it gets to be 25, 50 potholes, then maybe we need to start talking about some kind of policy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
How many times you ran for office?
Just twice. Yeah, this is my 2020 wasn't a good for a guy like me. Wasn't a good time to do it because we had the pandemic and I couldn't get out of the house, and my social media skills aren't that great, so I wasn't able to develop a website. No, I mean I'm working on it. I need to. I'm working on it. That's just not really my thing. The social media, I'm more of talk to people.
So you knock on doors?
Yeah. Not as many as I'd like to.
You knocked on doors in 20 when you first?
No, I couldn't get out. You couldn't do that. I remember in 2020, I had a bunch of business cards, and I saw somebody walking across the Smith's parking lot, and I went to hand it to them. They're like, no. I was like, all right, well, that's going to be this type of election.
You can't let that one.
No, I'm not knocking on doors yet. I'm starting Saturday, actually. We got a little meet and greet up at...
Hold.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people live in your district?
There's 134,000, I believe. 134,000 nonpartisan.
Did you have a primary?
Had a primary, yeah.
Okay. So did you knock on doors in the primary?
No, I'm more... so knocking on doors is a hard thing, right? A lot of people say they're knocking on doors, but they're not.
Oh, my God,
a lot of people say.
Did I just hear this from a Marine?
A lot of people say
knock on doors is a hard thing.
Not physically hard, right?
Is it mentally challenging?
Do you want somebody to come up to your door and knock on your door?
I was knocking on doors when I ran for assembly.
Yeah, but
twice.
You think people were glad to see you at their door?
It doesn't matter because some people you knock on their doors and be like, "Oh my God, I've never seen a candidate knock on my door before."
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people say they're knocking on doors, but they're not, right? So
how come you're not knocking on doors?
Just been too busy with other things and
like what? Facial, manicure, reflexology.
Don't look that good. Don't look that good to you.
Getting your suit tailor made. What's going on?
This dude's 20 years old, Steve.
What do you mean you're not knocking on doors?
Just because I'm trying to get the collateral together. I got a meet and greet on Saturday. Me and another candidate.
So
do you know how much support I'm getting from the party?
From the Democratic Party?
Yeah.
How much support?
Probably none.
I'm not really getting as much support as I'd like.
What is the demographics between R's and D's?
There's about 4,000 more Republicans than Democrats.
And you're not knocking on doors?
There's about 4,000 independents. I did meet with the nonpartisans. Mm-hmm. There's about 30+ thousand nonpartisans. So, if I'm knocking on doors, it's going to be the independents and the nonpartisans, right?
Right. So, a Republican once held that seat.
Yeah.
Scott Hammond.
Scott Hammond, right.
Okay, and so why wouldn't you want to go knock on doors and convince some Republicans to vote?
I do want to go knock on doors. And
you're going to start this when? So let me ask you something, Mr. Bilodeau.
Bilodeau, yeah.
Bilodeau. Yeah. Let me ask you something. When does early voting start?
This week. I think the 20th.
And you're going to start knocking on doors now?
Hopefully I get enough name recognition right now so that people will vote for me without knocking on their door.
Do you State Senate District 18, right?
Yeah, I'm still looking for a campaign manager, Steve.
You're still looking
for some time.
God, you're so late on the draw. Do you know that area is being built all the time because that's Ward 6,
yeah.
right? And in the city's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
That's the only area that has vacant land that you could really build on. Is that area?
Yeah, not much there.
Well, there is Kyle Canyon. So there's more and more people moving in that area than any other area. Mm-hmm. So name recognition, your name recognition is out the door.
Kyle Canyon's a little further up.
Well, what name recognition did you ever heard of Mr. Bilodeau before, Jim?
No.
What name recognition do you have?
Well, we'll see. We'll see on November 5th.
I'm a little disappointed that you haven't knocked on doors in the primary.
I'm disappointed I haven't had a chance to get out there and do it. But
really?
Really? Yeah. So my opponents were not out knocking on doors.
Then that's their loss. You should be ahead of them. Huh? You should be ahead of them.
Well,
I appreciate.
Well, at least he's honest and said he wasn't knocking on.
Well, he's not working it though.
I know. No, I agree with you, Steve. I'm just saying at least he was honest.
He's going to start knocking on doors a day before early voting starts.
Listen, I'm working it with the resources I have, and
what you get 2 feet? You're not in a wheelchair. You got knuckles. Right? What other resources do you need?
So I know a lot of people think that knocking on doors is the big thing, right?
When I knocked on doors, people love that. They love that because they like to see the candidate. They loved it.
So I don't mean to interrupt you, Steve, but I'm good. You'll like what I have to say.
Okay.
Let me give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Steve knows my politics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty conservative Republican. So this lady comes and knocks on my door one day. She's running for Las Vegas mayor. She's about the polar opposite of me when it comes to politics.
Okay.
She's way more liberal than me. Her name is Chris June Giuliani.
Former county commissioner.
Yep.
Yeah, I met Chris.
So she's running for mayor against Carolyn Goodman. She comes to my door, knocks on my door. We're both just staring at each other, and she kind of gives me this look like, she knows my politics. Mm-hmm. I invite her in, give her a glass of water because, she's walking. I voted for her.
Yeah.
You know why? Because she knocked on my door.
Chris Giuliani, right?
June Giuliani.
June Giuliani. I voted for a liberal Democrat specifically because she came to my door and asked for my vote.
People love when you ask.
Did she win the election?
No.
No.
She's going up against the Goodman.
What's that?
She went up against the Goodman.
Yeah. No, I know they're a powerhouse.
But and I understand where you're coming from. Like, okay, she didn't win the election, but I'm just saying that, like, at that point, we're talking 2012.
Yeah.
I've progressed a lot in my politics.
Yeah.
I'm a little more understanding now, but in 2012, if you had a D next to your name, you were not getting my vote. But she came to my door and she got my vote.
Okay, well.
So I'm just saying people can be persuaded by knocking on doors.
You meet people in a lot of different ways. You knock on doors, you run into them in the supermarket, in the parking lots, the stores, wherever it might be.
Are you working the supermarket?
Grocery stores.
Are you working the grocery store?
Every chance I have a conversation.
Durango, are you working that one?
When I have a conversation with someone.
There's over there on Durango and Osa Blanca. Are you working that one?
That's the big one, yeah.
Are you working that one?
I will be.
I will be?
Yeah.
When early voting start again?
I got 19 days. I got 19 days, okay?
People started to put their ballots in the mail.
I know that's
this week.
Yeah, I know.
They start.
Okay,
Mike,
so
and you're a Marine.
I appreciate. Yeah,
you're a Marine.
Hey, I appreciate the. I truly appreciate the campaign advice.
Oh my God!
I didn't come here for that, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't come here for campaign.
People want to know how you knocking on their doors. They're probably saying, "Hey, I never seen this Bilodeau before."
I see me now. Thanks for the opportunity to get some recognition here. But how'd you do in your election?
My election, I didn't win. I'm abrasive.
Yeah,
I tell like it is.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
But you know what? I got a lot of votes by knocking on doors.
Okay, well,
and that's how you do it. Unless you're running for a statewide race, I understand.
Yeah.
Or if you're running for a county race, I understand. But if you're running for a Senate district, a county commission, or a city council, or assembly district, you knock on doors.
Listen, I'm a regular guy, right?
And they're all regular. They're regular guys. They're regular women.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were fancy dancy, they wouldn't be knocking on doors. They'd have walkers.
Yeah, no, I understand. But like I said, if you want to talk about my philosophy, my policies, things like that.
Let's hear what BDRs do you have that you're going to bring forth?
BDRs.
Bill draft request.
I'm not a state senator right now. Yeah, I'll tell you one that I'm really interested in. I'll tell you something
senator.
I'm really interested in.
You're not a state senator, but you're running for state senator.
Let me tell you something really
Shouldn't you know what a BDR is?
I will. I do now. So here's the thing. I know where the challenges and problems are in the community.
All right, what is those? What's the challenges?
I'll tell you one. We got thousands of veterans who are immigrants. They served in the armed forces. Mm-hmm. They got out of the armed forces. They had an expectation that they would, they loved America enough to serve in the service to support the country.
Right.
And they may have committed, some minor violations, maybe some drug possession or something. Instead of going through the court system here, they end up getting deported back to.
Sounds like you want to run for U.S. Senator or Congress.
Well, now I know what a BDR.
The state senator don't do that.
Now I know what a BDR is. I could probably do that, right?
Where you're talking about, not deporting,
I got some influence in that.
Immigrants that are or non-American citizens that serve in the military.
Yeah.
That is a federal issue. That's not a state issue. So you should be running for Congress or Senate, U.S. Senate for that, not state Senate. State Senate don't handle that.
Too many doors to knock on, Steve. No.
State Senate doesn't handle that. So I just want to clear that up for you because I don't want you to go around saying that to people and they're like, wait a minute, what's this guy running for again? Oh, so you don't have no jurisdiction.
Listen, everything happens at the local level.
Not everything.
It's kind of like where do you know? How do you get the information, intel on what to talk about? Where do you get that?
What do you mean?
Well, how do you know what's important and what's not important?
Well, you know what? This is what I do before
knocking on doors.
That helps. That people, because you got to get feedback. Apparently, you're not getting any feedback because you're not knocking on any doors. So usually, before I run for a seat, I find out what the do's and don'ts for that seat. Right. Okay, when they say state assembly, what are the powers of a state assemblyman? And I'm like, okay, they do this, they do that. What are the powers of a state senate? Oh, it's almost the same as the powers of an assembly. Okay.
Right.
What are the powers of a U.S. Senate? Oh, immigration, veterans. Okay, so you're talking about immigration with not deporting veterans that are from other countries that are not American citizens. That's what you're talking about, right? That's what you're. No.
Local policy. So is that
what you're talking about?
Local decisions influence federal policy.
Local decisions might influence federal policy,
You bring it
but it's
to-
a federal. That's a federal. You need to be a U.S. congressman or a U.S. senator to vote on those issues.
Right. You know,
Okay,
and
I could go issue my congressman, and I'm a layman. I could go and influence my city council,
Right.
and I'm a layman. But it's the city council and the congressman that vote on the issues.
I didn't say I was voting on those issues. I said it's something that's
Yeah,
important.
but let's talk about what is in the powers of a state senator. Tell me, what are the powers of a state senator?
Drafting bills.
Okay,
Approving
You didn't know
bills.
what a BDR is.
Listen, you know how many acronyms I've heard in my life? You know what, Steve?
Oh my God!
I'll tell you what.
You're running for a state senate seat. Aren't you supposed to know these things, Mr.
You know,
Bilodeau?
I look around the room. I guess maybe I could be the next congressman too, right?
But you're not running for that right now. You're running for a state senate seat.
Right.
Okay.
And if I'm elected, I'll be a great state senator. When I'm elected.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But what are you going to do for the people? Do you know? Do you know what are the concerns of the folks that live in State Senate District 18? What are their concerns?
I think we talked about that when I first started, right?
All right. Well, maybe I didn't catch it.
The economy.
Okay.
Homelessness in the community. I live in it's a relatively affluent district. I have homeless people.
With regards to State Senate District 18, what about the economy that you're going to fix as a state senator? That the bills that you're going to introduce as a state senator? What committees? I should ask you this question: what committee are you willing to sit on in the state senate? What committees?
Infrastructure. Okay, if there's an infrastructure committee that
There's an infrastructure committee, are you sure about that? Is there an infrastructure committee?
There should be. Maybe I could chair that committee. You know, so you tell me, Steve, what committee?
I'm not the one running.
Well, you ran before.
I'm not the one running now. You are.
You ran before. How'd that work?
You're the
That didn't
candidate.
work out, did it?
You're the candidate.
Right.
What you?
You know,
Jim, you gotta help me out with this one.
I kind of thought this would turn into a roast after a while because you get pumped up, and
I do get pumped up.
Okay, well, hold
because
on.
apparently I don't think you understand what a state senator does. I really don't. Because you're not telling me anything a state senator does. What does a state senator do? All right, let me ask you this. Have you been to Carson City?
I've been to Carson City.
Okay. Have you been to the state legislature building?
I have not.
Have you testified on bills?
Let me tell you something, Steve. Let me talk for a minute.
Okay.
I spent the last 30 years serving this community in different roles.
Okay.
This would be a new role for me. Okay. I've done rather well in every role I've served in this community. I've sacrificed. I've dedicated every amount of spare time to this community. Okay. When I'm elected state senator, I'll dedicate that same amount of time to that role. But right now, that's not my role. Okay.
But you're running for that role.
Great.
You're running for that role. What do you mean it's not your role?
That's right, because somebody
you got to act like it.
Somebody has to do it. I act like it. I might not know everything about the role, but somebody has to do it. People have to get out there. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the person who points out how the strong man stumbles, how the doer of deeds could have done better. It's the man in the arena, Steve. You're sitting here criticizing me, and that's all you're doing. You're the critic.
Look.
I'm the man in the arena.
If you're running for a seat, you got to know exactly what that seat is, and you got to absorb that role. You got to act like a state senator if you want to be a state senator. You can't say, "Well, I'm just outside looking in," and that's exactly what you're telling me. You're outside looking in. What bills are you planning to propose as a state senator for your district? and you talk about the economy. What specifically about the economy that affects State Senate District 18? Specific.
Well, high price of gas, high medical costs.
And what about the
high
gas?
vehicle insurance costs?
What about
right?
the gas?
I
And we know gas prices.
can't do too
Gas
much about
prices are a
gas
federal
prices.
issue, right?
I can help to implement a logical transition to renewable energy and plug-in electric vehicles. That would help, right? I could have, as a state senator, I could have influence over that, right? That's state stuff that
What are you willing to vote on?
I would vote on logical transition.
You know who the president is of the state senate?
No, Nicole is the Democratic Party.
Do you know who is the if there were a even number of Republicans and an even number of Democrats vote on the issue, who's the tiebreaker?
When you went in the Marine Corps, do you know how to shoot an M16? Really? Did you know how to do close combat?
Let's
come on, man.
But no.
Come on,
Okay,
you guys.
so hold on. I'm gonna just let me put it this way. Okay, whether Steve knew how to shoot an M16 when he first went in the Marine Corps, that's pretty
And the
irrelevant.
answer would be yes, I did.
But even if you didn't,
A Glock 2, a 38 2.
but here's the thing, is like,
successful legends in your own mind too. By the way.
but here's the thing, like, you should have a fundamental understanding of the role. Remember how I asked you what your core roles would be as a state senator? And I said you didn't answer the question. I mean, like, okay, so if there was a tie in the assembly, in the state senate, like, you should know the answer to that. Then it's, okay, the lieutenant governor is the president of the Senate. So he breaks the tie. Somebody running for political office who is going to have a major impact in voting, and those laws are going to have immediate impact on the people in State Senate District 18, you should have a general functional understanding of how the state government works. We're not like, Steve isn't asking crazy questions here, but to not know what a bill draft request is and how many you get as a freshman legislator, those are basic
Well, when I get
questions.
those,
like, you should have Googled
handle
them
those.
before you even came in here.
You know why I've been successful in life is because I know how to compartmentalize things. Okay,
Cool.
and so right now, that's something that's not on my radar. What's on my radar now?
So your core roles as a state senate candidate is not on your radar?
Listen, man, as a candidate, your role is to get elected, okay? As a state
Fair
senator,
enough.
you have a different role, okay? You have a role, and you go into any business, and I don't know how many different businesses,
Your
or
role's to get elected,
how many different professions.
But if people don't believe you could do the job, they won't get you elected. They won't vote for you.
Well, after sitting with you too, probably not.
And
you
this
know?
is not the first
I
roller
can't believe
coaster.
how,
This is the
I can't
second
believe
time
how
around.
abrasive you are. And
I'm very
and-
abrasive.
yeah,
You
and-
ask, what do you mean you can't believe how abrasive I am?
well, because
One, I'm a Marine. You should be abrasive too, because a lot of Marines are abrasive. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm abrasive. What
you don't
planet
have to
were
be
you
abrasive
on?
to get your point across.
I am not trying to be abrasive to get my point across. You're being condescending. You're like, wait a minute. Did you shoot an M16 before you joined the Marine Corps? Really?
You know, so you when you start using the voice, you start to digress, right? That's a digression in conversation. It's a digression in trying to be to deliberate with people, right? I'm trying to have a civil conversation, and that's what I do. I'm good at that. All right. When people kind of get out of control and just start, firing off and keep firing off and saying the same thing over and over, I deal with it, but it's not the way that I like to discuss and deliberate.
Okay. So let me ask you this then. So if I ask a question of you and you're the candidate, right? So you decided to run for this, and now if I ask you a question, I'm being abrasive by asking you a question.
No, it's like anything else. It's how you ask the question, right? It's how you present yourself. You know, you ask.
So
you asked
you
me
want
if-
me
if,
to be
I'm-
abrasive or condescending?
Yeah.
I was very condescending, not abrasive, when I asked you, like, okay, I'm going to tell you my bias. I'm a Republican. You're running as a Democrat. I don't get it. Democrats, in my opinion, want to go to the mailbox to earn their paycheck, to get it from the government instead of actually going out working for it.
Right.
Now, that is condescending. Okay. And not all Democrats believe that. And I don't believe that way either. But when you have two individuals that are citizens of this state and we're asking questions of a potential Nevada legislator, just basic questions, and then you can't answer them. Now we're abrasive by asking our potential public official a question and they can't answer it. That's not abrasive, sir. That is our duty. And Steve and I take this very seriously. It's our duty as a citizen of the state of Nevada to challenge our potential leaders.
Well, I gave you
Right?
the best answers I could.
I
I gave
that's
the
not
answers. I
abrasive.
gave the answers I could.
Okay.
And you know, it would have been. It would have
So
been.
you wanted us to do what CBS did to Kamala Harris and ask you a question. You can't answer it, but then we just edit this tape and put you in a more positive light. See, that's what I'm talking about with Democrats.
you know,
Like, it's
I
very annoying.
wasn't familiar with that all that was going on.
All right.
And then when I ask you about knocking on doors, you're saying, well, you're just challenging. I didn't come here to be challenged with this and that, you know?
No, it took a little while before I just, asked you about that. But
All right, well, I'm convinced. You got anything else?
No, but I do want to say one thing. You were right on the arena thing. And I appreciate you very much for coming in and being willing to take the fire. And it is what it is, but I wish you well. And you're a nice guy. And I really respect your service. And I appreciate that very much. But I don't know how many interviews you've done, but just when you get home, look up the core role of the state senator. You owe that to the people that you are asking for their vote. You owe it to them to actually know the job and the roles in order to be a state senator.
well, you know,
I would do
You got a mic on you. You got a mic
I
on.
truly appreciate your advice and appreciate inviting
take it or
me.
leave it. That's fine.
No. See, thanks for having me come in.
Thanks.
Simplify.
Semper Fi, baby.
Yeah.
Folks, what did you think about that interview? Well, apparently he doesn't know what a state senator does. He doesn't like to be challenged. And he got up and walked out. That hasn't happened in years.
Yeah, honestly, I can't remember the last time that actually happened.
That hasn't happened at all.
Yeah.
But would you vote for him? I wouldn't. This is Steve Sampson, Jim Jonas, with Veterans in Politics. I love these shows because it educates you before you go to the voting booth. And fortunately for me, that's my assembly, that's my Senate district. And I know a lot of people in State Senate District number 18. Until next time, be prepared before you come on the show.